evening. Welcome back to another episode of the Group Chat Podcast. I'm joined as always, my brother standing in. We doing to be. I try to keep it to like a certain group of like a certain build. So I'm gonna go for this week. We rolling 5'11", 215. We doing all the running backs route. We said at the end of last week's episode, prayers to Chris Johnson and his family. So we doing the running back mold. Standing in 5'11", 215. Tony is in the building. How you feeling today?
Uh, I'm alive, man. I am alive. So
That's
we
always a good
we
start.
move forward.
Amen, amen. Um, Will's gonna be joining us here in a few minutes. Uh, Before we get in, it's gonna be a short episode, some more fast paced episode. Who are we listening to this week? Who's our rapper of the week?
Larry June. I think Larry was my rapper of the week last week, but fuck
He might have a
it.
three-peat. High
Fuck
key,
it.
like it might be on the three-peat.
Yeah, Larry's my rapper of the week. New album coming out July 17th. Y'all go stream that, buy that, whatever you do with your music. So yeah, Larry is my rapper of the week. New single out, Organic Motion. Only rapper I'm giving free promo to. Everybody else, no.
You want to
But
give Jay some free promo?
Larry gets free promo. Jay Z, Jay Z ain't doing shit for free. So what I look like doing something for free?
Hey man. Um, Obviously with the theme of the episode, I wasn't gonna miss the opportunity. Nas is my rapper of the week. It's one of the few episodes where I can do it, and it's not gonna be like, damn nigga, listen to somebody new. We're gonna be talking about It Was Written, which turned 30 years old this week, so I'm taking full advantage of the opportunity. Shout out to Nas. Shout out to I gave up the fight, but shout out to a nigga I had as the greatest rapper ever for a long time. Um,
You can still have Nas the greatest rapper of all time, man. I'm not.
nah,
I'm
I
not
gave
here
up
to.
that. I gave
I'm
that
not here to
argument up.
fight you on that. You'd be
I gave
wrong,
up
but
the
like I'm not
argument.
here to fight you on it.
I know. It was like 2, 3 years ago. There was some about. It became a point where I was just like, it was. How do you say it? Some niggas just have it. And it was, we were having a conversation. I don't remember if it was on here or if it was just in text, but it was just like, LeBron is as great as you can possibly fucking be at basketball. But he still, like, Mike still has it. And it's like, you can't really explain it fully, but like, you just watch both of them and you're just like, yeah, this nigga's like, he's him. Even in a room full of niggas that are like at that level, it's like, he's him. And Hove does have that over Nas. Like, again, I could sit, you could do a bunch of semantics or like rate albums, rate bars, all that shit like we were doing last week with the rapper tier list, but like, Jay does have that. Like, he just kind of walks in the room and it's like, niggas just be like, Jay's in the room. Like, the whole shit changes. So I gave that a couple years ago. But shout out to Nas. We're going to be talking about It Was Written from 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Turns 30 years old. Yeah, same thing. Just said.
I mean, I was about to say same thing.
It's the same. It's the same shit, but it's like, oh yeah, from 30 years ago sounds dismissive. It's like, oh, you know that one thing that happened, like 30 years ago. I do want to give Will some time to get. I do want to give Will some time to get in here. So I'm gonna start off with some. Nope, I don't need that. Some short form shit here, real quick. Let me pull this up. Where is? I pulled it up here, or did I not? Damn, I really did that. Okay, bet. So we're gonna start with something different then. He just got to get in here because I'm not sure what time he's gonna be in here. 30 years ago from last Wednesday, I believe was the actual date, or last Thursday, It Was Written turned 30 years old. There's a lot that I feel like you can discuss with this album. There is the A. Let's start here. Let's get the age-old question out of the way.
Okay.
Is this Nas's best album? Especially being his sophomore album. And he has, Illmatic has just become, and I don't want to dismiss Illmatic. I wasn't alive in 94 when it dropped. I was born a few months later. Illmatic is like the go-to answer for Oh, best rap album ever, right? I know last week you said Life After Death is your favorite. Is you think is the best rap album ever? There's obviously other ones like Reasonable Doubt. They're in the conversation, but Illmatic became the like, what's the greatest rap album ever? You ask 1,000 people, they're gonna say that. I guess we could even start there. Is like, is It Was Written better than Illmatic?
It's better than Illmatic to me. Like, I'm not here to like really make a strong claim for it as far as like, oh yeah, it's better. It's so much better than Illmatic. Like, I listen to Illmatic. I listen to, I won't say the album through, but I listen to tracks from Illmatic pretty on a regular basis for as much as you can. And it's like Illmatic's a phenomenal album. It's one of the 15 best rap albums in my book. 15 to 20 for me, but It Was Written as one of the 5 best rap albums of all time to me. It's in my top 5 favorite rap albums. I'll say that for sure. It's in my top 5 favorite rap albums. It's an album I can listen to all the way through without skipping any track. It has probably 3 of my favorite rap songs of all time, maybe 4 of my favorite rap songs of all time. So yeah, so I love It Was Written, man. It Was Written is truly like just a phenomenal album to me.
I listened to them both over the weekend. I listened both back to back, and like niggas know I love Nas. I got Nas. He's the second greatest rapper ever. Both Illmatic and It Was Written is phenomenal. I understand the arguments for Illmatic if you want to say, because Illmatic is only, right, it's only got 10 songs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you want to say Illmatic from, obviously Nas was rapping his ass off, like especially for 1994. Like he was rapping his ass off. He was rapping in a way that was different, sounded unique. And if you want to say he went 10 for 10 and that's what makes quote unquote a perfect album, I get it. I don't think Illmatic was 10 for 10. I think it's a really strong 9 for 10, but Illmatic's amazing. I think It Was Written, the problem when you try to compare the two, and this is kind of my second question, is like, It Was Written it might be his best rapping he's ever done.
Yeah, man.
And that's saying something for somebody like Nas, who was obviously like again, is in that GOAT tier of rap when you're like, yo, this is the best this nigga has ever rapped. Hey man, Will is in the building. How we doing?
I'm good, man. Y'all can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, man, I'm good, man. Shout out to our sponsors over at Mazda Need to Soul. Make sure y'all send the check through. Send the wire through.
How come niggas ain't wait? You ain't gonna ask about when we get a sponsor? I mentioned Patreon once, and niggas looked at me and said, "Yo, when we get a Patreon?"
Why is he the only one that knows about these sponsors?
I'm like, niggas like, ask Will about the sponsor.
Listen, man, y'all to get y'all money on the back end. These ain't on air conversations we supposed to be having.
This nigga trying to J Prince us.
Look, man. But It Was Written is. Again, it is phenomenal rapping. You've got the records. I'm aware none of us were we were all babies, kids. Tony, were you born when is it written? Like what month is it? July 2nd, 1996?
I was not born yet.
Not born yet. All right. We all know our history. Is this, considering the impact Illmatic had, and this being Nas's follow-up, there's obviously been a change of opinion for people, what the consensus opinion was in 96 when this dropped versus now in 2026. Mm-hmm. Is It Was Written the most anticipated rap album ever? Considering what Illmatic had done, what Nas was doing in 94, 95, and be like, yo, we getting a follow-up to that?
I can't speak to that. I can't necessarily speak to that. As far as it being the most anticipated rap album of all time, but I can say it's one of the most anticipated sophomore albums of all time for sure.
Like, who else is in, like, what other albums would be in that conversation? We just talk about, like, most anticipated follow-up. Like, 50 obviously would be in there.
I was about to say The Massacre, Life After Death.
Would we put, trying to make sure I got my
To
albums
Pimp a
in order.
Butterfly. Late Registration.
Yeah.
What else we got? TM 102.
Volume 1.
Nah,
Putting,
because Jay wasn't no superstar off of Reasonable Doubt. So it's like when you think about like highly anticipated sophomore joints, it's like that was probably a big deal in New York, but I don't think that was like a big deal like global, like nationally, not globally, but nationally. Like Biggie sophomore album, big deal nationally. 50 sophomore album, big deal nationally. Kendrick, Jeezy, big deals nationally because of
Absolutely.
how high Kanye's, because of how high the debuts were from an impact standpoint and commercially. So yeah, those are just a few off the top of the dome.
yeah. No, that's the thing, and that's where I think like some of the discourse. And again, I was 2 when it was dropped, and not even fully 2. I was 1.5, and so or 1.75, whatever the fuck. It's like I feel like when you go back and just like either read or listen to people talk about what was going on when it was written, was dropped, it was like y'all didn't give this nigga a chance to like drop something that was going to be quote unquote. Illmatic was getting so much love. It was so acclaimed. It had every like it was again consensus like, oh, this is the best rap album ever. This is like the best nigga rapping. Like it was never gonna get its fair shot. I'm curious, have you heard J. Cole talk about I Gave You Power?
No, and I don't want to, honestly.
He said I Gave You Power is the only reason we got J. Cole. He said
I believe that.
I forget where he was. This is years ago now, but he was like, I Gave You Power was the reason he wanted to start rapping, because he was like, yo, this nigga was, he's like, I listened to the whole song, and he's like, oh damn, this nigga was a gun.
It's almost as if he said it in the opening line of the song, Cole. I don't.
Hey man, look.
I don't know what to tell
Hey man,
you.
look. I'm repeating what the man said. That style of songwriting, I think, is what. I want to be clear before I start asking like a specific question. I think a record like I Gave You Power is something that like Nas does better than anybody. And like Joyner Lucas like gets shit on, and I brought this up like a month or 2 ago. I'm like, Joyner Lucas will try to rap from like the perspective of something, and niggas just clown on him. And I'm like, Nas did that. Like he's been the one doing it, but it's like it's a different level when you do it.
Everything ain't for everybody.
This is a fact. Like you got to be good. And in this case, great. Do you think though, like that in 90s, like again, when we're talking about like in real time trying our best to like figure out what that moment would be like, that being still relatively new, that style of making a song, that style of rapping, like would hit well, especially for somebody like Nas. Like a song like I Gave You Power, trying to rap from the perspective of a gun.
That's an interesting question. Like,
because when you do something first, like you open yourself up to like niggas
right.
just might not fuck
That's
with
the
this.
thing. That's the thing. It's like if he was the first person to do that today, it'd still be dope, because like it's original, and Nas carries a swag that many rappers have never had, let alone today's rappers. So it would still hit. Now, had he done that today in whatever form, but somebody had done it already, it may be a little corny to some. It depends. It's all about delivery. It's all about delivery and like who you are as a rapper. Like we always say, we've said it for so many years, off this show, on this show, all over the place. There's things that 2 Chainz can say that you just cannot say. There are things that you cannot say that 2 Chainz can say because he's 2 Chainz. You are not 2 Chainz.
Nah, it's a fact. Your delivery, your style, like just it is different. And when you just cool, like I say this for myself, like as a nigga who just has never been like quote unquote conventionally cool. Like Nas has been cool since day one. So there's mad shit like he can do and say where it's like, hey man, you just gotta live with that. You can't whatever he just did, like you can't pull that off. You gotta know your strengths, you gotta know your weaknesses.
That's a fact.
You said this potentially has 3 or 4 of your top 5 rap records ever.
Mm-hmm.
Go down that list. What are your go-to like when you're talking about best records ever from this album?
My favorite records from this album, which in turn are some of my favorite rap songs ever, are The Message, which technically doesn't count as the intro, but for rap people, it's the intro. Street Dreams is one of my favorite Nas records. Watch Them Niggas featuring Foxy Brown. It's one of my favorite Nas records. And then Take It in Blood has one of the illest like verses. But yeah, The Message, Street Dreams, and Watch Them Niggas are three of my favorite rap songs ever. And depending on how I'm feeling, If I Ruled the World is probably on there too. It's probably closer to like 40 or 50 than 20 where The Message and Street Dreams and Watch Them Niggas falls. Those are between like probably some of in my top 20. But yeah, man, I love this album a lot. Like it really means a lot to me.
Do you feel like If I Ruled the World still holds up as like a hit or an anthem, whatever category you want to put it in? Do you feel like that still holds up in 2026?
Yeah, for sure. Like shit, he just performed it at the BET Awards at the Lauryn Hill tribute, and it still hits the same as I'd imagine it hit then. It's more respected as a track now than it was then because it was more of a crossover pop record, if you will, because you couldn't make a record like that with like a female singer on the hook and then not be considered like crossover back in the 90s because they were stupid. So there's that. But yeah, it's still a great record.
Nah, If I Ruled the World still hits. Nas Is Coming is a funny record. Like
Nas Is Coming. I listened to Nas Is Coming today. I listened to the album today because it's like it was written as not an album I have to go back and listen to. I know it by memory, but I did want to just kind of. I haven't listened to it all the way through in a while, so I said why not? Because we was doing the show, and I was listening to Nas Is Coming, and that's truly one of Nas's funniest songs ever made, because he has a run in that song where he's saying nothing, but you would not know because he's just he caught a flow state. He caught a flow state over the beat, which is not one of Dre's best beats, but it's like it's a solid beat. It's fine. It's not even one of Dre's best beats. Like especially when you think about the 90s Dr. Dre, it's not one of his best beats by far, but it's fine. Like it's a fine beat. And Nas catches like a flow state in the middle of the song where he's just saying a lot of words, and the words they don't make sense, but in the rhythm of the song, it's like, yeah, this nigga's spitting.
He had Dre was talking like fucking Manny Fresh at the beginning of that record, like just the way he comes in and starts hyping him up. I'm just like, because I always think like you can't play it in public anymore, but like nothing will ever beat Manny on Jeezy's album. Like when he gets, and everybody knows the track, when he starts saying like,
yeah.
And that's when I listen. When I listened to it, I was like in the back of my head.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, you couldn't. Again, I kind of brought this up when we were talking about legends last week. Is like, it's funny to see that or to hear that in 2026 because even though they were both established, they weren't like in that legendary class yet, right? It's like you kind of see them as like they're making their name, they're building what would become their legacies, and I'm like, you couldn't get Dre to do that in 2026. Like Kendrick got Dre out to do some shit for the beef and the pop out show, and obviously we all know that was its own huge moment. But I'm like, it's funny in hindsight to be like, all right, these like they were like, Nas was only what 4 or 5 years into his career at that point. Like Dre's obviously goes back to the 80s, but he's still on more of the solo side, obviously post NWA. So it's like. That shit was dope.
And this is his first production post Death Row as well.
Yeah. The Firm, this being the first time that I believe they're on a, if I remember, because I Googled it because I didn't think it made sense to me. It's the first time them being on an official album together. Like, I think they did.
I believe so.
I forget if there's either like a single or a session they put forward, but I think this is considered the Firm's first time being on a commercial album. AZ has the best rap voice in history. Like, it's just, AZ could just rap.
It's up there,
and
for
it's
sure.
like,
It's for sure up there.
he's just, ever since Life's a Bitch, it's like, yeah, no, nigga, you got it. Like, Foxy's going crazy on both Watch Them Niggas and Affirmative Action. Foxy's talking crazy. Is there a bad song on this album? Again, kind of talking about Illmatic and this. Illmatic's claim to fame is, I know we just talked about Nas is coming, but like Illmatic's claim to fame would be like, oh, you went 10 for 10 with songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
This only has 14, which is definitely not a lot, especially for fucking today's standards.
Yeah, for sure.
It really only 13 because the intro is like, if we're starting at the message, going through If I Ruled the World, we're going 13. Is there a bad, like an objectively bad song to you on this?
Nah, it's objectively bad. No, like we said, Nas is coming. It's not great. It's not great. It's not great. But objectively bad, no. I can't look at any of these songs and say they're objectively bad. Black Girl Lost always gives me a good laugh because of that intro and just like Black Girl. You couldn't make Black Girl Lost today because in the world of Young Miamis and Lottos and Sexy Reds and all the ladies. Shout out to the ladies. It's not a diss to them,
I was
but
like, careful what
just
you say next.
yeah, no. It's not a diss to them. I love all of them. But in the world of those vein of women rappers, you couldn't make Black Girl Lost today. Especially when Shorty at the beginning say like like he talking that off the wall back to Africa shit. like God forbid a nigga want to be a revolutionary.
Nah, you ain't got like besides. See, that's why it's always. Side note, it's always fun to me when you get certain people who make like, and I'm not judging, but if you make like specific like club music, turn up music, or like we talk about Tyga making strip club music, and then like you hear it throughout the years, and they wait in interviews and be like, nah, this is my favorite rapper. And I'm like, this can't be your favorite rapper. Like if this is how you rap, like certain people can't be your favorite. Like some of the girls you can't like walk and be like, nah, man, Nas was just like that was my guy when I was young. I'm like, nah, hold up, you got to pick something. Like Juicy J. I feel you. I get it. Like, you can't say Nas is your favorite rapper and then put out some music y'all put out.
Everybody's layered,
Everybody. I mean, yeah. Again, it's funny for like how it was viewed then, how it is now. If we don't use If I Ruled the World, because that's obviously like the biggest hit that came from this. And obviously a lot of that has to do with Lauryn and like shout out to Lauryn Hill, like for all the stuff, the conversation around Lauryn Hill, like her and Nas got a great relationship. Because he even got her on I forget it's King's Disease 3. I think that's the one she's on.
Yeah, she's on one of them for sure.
Yeah. And so like shout out, like that combination works. Obviously Lauryn is in and out. Also shout out to her for being like, so what the fuck? So what's like, fuck y'all. So what if I am late? Or if I'm late to put out one album? Like, suck my dick. And I'm like, talk your shit, Lauryn.
The more time goes by, I realize she's right. She's right. People still pay to see her perform this album. It gets to a point where it's like, yeah,
I started saying that shit with Cardi when it wasn't like sure if Cardi was ever gonna put out a sophomore album because she went so many years. I'm just like, y'all realize how many hits she has off that? She does a couple features here and there, and I'm like, she's good money forever, whether we get a sophomore album or not. Like, and Lauryn Hill's in the same. Obviously, she's like the ultimate example of being in that space. Like, she's good money forever off one album. Like, and that's only, and it's not her responsibility because fans are like, oh, well, we want more and more and more. It's like, I gave y'all the classic. You still pay me to see a classic. What the fuck else you want? Yeah. But if we took out If I Ruled the World, what would be in your opinion, I know you list off like your 3 or 4 favorites. What would be, in your opinion, like the song you would show someone to be like, yo, this is why this album is dope?
I went on a Wikipedia sidetrack, and Taylor Swift has won the most album of the years at the Grammys.
I mean,
it's not a real award show. You said what I say outside of If I Ruled the World is the best.
If you can't show someone If I Ruled the World, what it like, I would say I Gave You Power, because I love the fucking Cockroach record with him and Busta. Like when Nas, like him rapping through something that, like he's the only one that can pull that off. And like I wouldn't even want to hear another nigga try to do that.
If I was
not Busting Him or the Fried Chicken record, which sounds nuts, but like,
huh?
Like they was top fried chicken. They was like, "Hey man, this shit gonna kill me, but I'm gonna eat that shit."
I'm the first of my generation to hear these words said in a sentence. You
can't put that album out either, or the fucking tape. That's some shit you can't do in 2026.
If I was to introduce someone to this album and I can't play If I Ruled the World, I'd play The Message, because that's the first song. So it's like I'm playing you The Message, and for a lot of people, The Message would be the best song on anybody's album. So for Nas, it's like, hey, you ever listen to Nas before? Like, nah, play this. It's the first song on the album. So, and knowing that it's the first song, you instantly you gotta stay around. You gotta see what comes next. And like everything that comes next is just it's a movie for sure. It's a cinematic experience where he's detailed and everything. He's taking you through all of these scenes throughout the album, and that's probably what I really appreciate about it, is how vivid it is and how you can really, you can see the scenery, you can see the settings.
No, it's Message. Obviously, you can't go wrong. Again, when it comes to storytelling, his ability to be descriptive, and there is just a cool side of it for how he is. Like he is one of the best ever for a reason. And songs like that, albums like this, it's. Again, I was 1.5 in '96, so it's tough for me to be like, it did chart well. I'm even looking here on the side, like it went #1 on Billboard.
Went #1, yeah.
Yeah, it sold over 2 million units. But again, it's that like how it is, again, records and sales and all that shit. Like coming off Illmatic, Nas could have put out almost anything. That shit was going to get hype, attention, was going to get sales. And this is, again, physical sales, right? So people were going to go to the store. They were going to cop this CD no matter what the fuck it was.
It's also one of the catalysts for beef 5 years later, when he says Lex with TV sets the minimum, because Jay-Z and Rockefeller were famous for driving a Lexus with Rockefeller on the front of it, which is very fire. And they took that as a diss. But over the years, it was shots, but it was kind of felt like friendly competition up until we get to 2001. So, one of those first shots is on this album, on The Message. Funny enough.
To be, how do you phrase this? Nas and Jay having a rap beef feels correct. Like at least like where you end up with in the grand scheme of things, if you like, all right, and I'm keeping it just to music, just trying to be respectful here, just keeping it to music, like Pac and Biggie musically beefing, it's like, all right, that makes sense because of the caliber of artists that you both got to, right? Jay and Nas.
It don't really though. It really don't though. Jay and Nas make sense as a beef because you look. See, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of someone at this point in time. So I get what you mean, but in hindsight, just from a musical standpoint, it doesn't make sense to me.
Jay and Nas or Pac and Big?
Pac and Big. Jay and Nas, okay. Yes. But okay. Pac and Big from a musical standpoint don't make sense, and I don't think Pac and Big could only have beef based on a quote-unquote real-life issues. They could never have had beef based on music.
So I guess more my point, like, you're correct. I think more so is like, who's. I don't like this name drop specifically because it goes a different conversation. But I got one. It's very thematic for this group chat, right? Meek Mill and Cassidy beefed, right? And
they did beef. That did happen. If you
call
it
was dope in the moment, and specifically because of Knowing Will. In the moment, like
I wasn't there with it, but respect.
Like Cassidy was rapping, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, you'd be like, oh, Meek beef with Cassidy. It's like, all right, that's such an because of the levels Meek reach. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, you do need at some point like the level of the artist to be in the same range. Like, it is like the Drake Kendrick shit. Is like you did need somebody to be in that level with you for it to be taken seriously. Because niggas do shot like Ludacris diss Drake, Common and Drake, but it's like, yeah, but you ain't quite there. And those are guys who have obviously a long history in the game. You need it to be like on this superstar level. So that's more so I'm at, like with Pac and Big both being stars, Jay and Nas being stars. I'm like, when you look back, it's okay, that makes sense. Like, who's like Jay and Jim Jones, even if you were at a similar point, because like you said, Jay wasn't a superstar off rip. So it's like, if Jay early in his career had beef with Jim Jones, it's like, all right, I guess we were there, but like you need that level for it
Jim
to
Jones
be,
and Jay-Z
for it to
beef
almost
was
feel
very
like
entertaining. It was very entertaining.
And he would get to talk about the rest of his life, whether he got smoked or not. He'd just be like, I was in there, man. I was fighting him.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Like, niggas would use that.
Jim can always say he went toe to toe with Jay-Z. They can't take that from him.
And niggas threw him in C tier.
Remains. Remains evergreen.
We compared it with Illmatic. I need to pull up the full list here so I make sure I don't say this incorrectly because I go back and forth on this a lot. Shout out to Light Years, man. That's just two old niggas doing something they wanted to do for a long time. Where would It Was Written fall in Nas's discography?
1 for me. Yeah, it'd be 1 for me. I think it's his best album. It is my favorite Nas album.
I'm going to say my 3 favorites. 2 are definitely, It Was Written is probably number 1 if you sit there and break it down and go like, okay, what's the best songs, all that shit. Life Is Good to me has aged in a way where like, Life Is Good isn't a classic album, but I think the content is as good as a classic album needs to be. And that space in his life, it obviously wasn't perceived the same way, obviously, like Illmatic or It Was Written was. Or I don't even think it got the love that, like, the King's Disease series got when he came back out. And, like, him and Hit Boy were going crazy. But Life Is Good is fucking incredible. And probably
we didn't all lost a bad bitch before. Respect.
He got married. He pulled out the way. Life Is Good is incredible. And then probably my most played Nas album, which I don't think this is as bad as my Blueprint 3 opinion, because I don't think it's coming for Blueprint 3. Godson is also incredible. And Godson has let me see, pull up the track list here.
That's fine. That's not as bad as Blueprint 3. It's not as bad as Blueprint 3. It's not even close.
Like, from Last Real Nigga Alive to damn near The Dance is like a crazy 8-9 song run. Again, Illmatic's tough. I respect Illmatic. I wasn't alive. I do think it is. It's weird with Illmatic to rate it if you weren't actually alive for it, because I don't really go back and listen to a ton of 80s rap. And so I don't have that opinion. Or I don't get the feel of it's like, oh, this was revolutionary. This is groundbreaking.
Illmatic came out in 1994. What are you talking about?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Because it was a new sound, and when it was a new sound and it was new to what people were doing then, if somebody doesn't go back and listen to what happened before it, it just sounds like rap.
But I don't think It's not. I see. It's not necessarily like a new sound. It was just his level of rapping, especially that young, and it kind of captured New York at the time. So when you think about Illmatic, Nas, he you know he wrote that album when he was essentially like a kid. He was like 16, 17, 18 when he wrote the album.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people's love of Illmatic comes from the grittiness of it. The grittiness of the production. There's a lot of DJ Premier on there and Pete Rock and all of those guys. And just like, when you think about the album itself, lyrically and sonically, it puts people in it feels like real East Coast hip hop for the time. Like it feels
Mm-hmm.
like hip hop. It's like Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, or fucking or just in that vein of like hip hop, East Coast. But when you take away those things of it, he's just rapping at just an incredible level. Like
Oh yeah.
strip it of all the other shit. Like just keep it to what he's actually saying on these beats that are really good beats. Illmatic's beats age really well, but like he's rapping at a very high level for a kid. But for me, I grew up on albums feeling like movies. So when my thing with Illmatic is that it was written, I should say. It was written it's just a cinematic experience that I appreciate. And it's much more of a polished album, which is what I grew up on, like I always say, like Rockefeller albums. I grew up on albums feeling that way. And you got Cash Money albums, and you got Dipset, you got goddamn who else? Like I'm the first generation of like Atlanta running hip hop. So like you got
Mm-hmm.
Ludacris and T.I. and all of those guys. So it's like I prefer that from albums. So when I'm older and I get around it was written, it captures me, because it feels like the albums I grew up on, but it also has somebody rapping super crazy, like just
Mm-hmm.
going so crazy lyrically. Um, but yeah, I say all that to say, I have Illmatic in my top three, but it's not two though. I can't say I don't rank Nas's albums in the sense of like this is better than this because I'm always like weird with Nas albums. Like the albums people hate from Nas, I really love a lot. So like I really love like Nostradamus. I really love I Am. Like those albums I really love a lot. Um, so I think that for me, like when I think of my favorite Nas albums, is always like I see what he's going for because I can look at it from like a 2000s brain, whereas what he
Mm-hmm.
was going for in the 90s, but a few like albums or songs and shit just didn't land because that's not where the game was at the time. But fair play to him, he's kind of ahead of his time with like songs that if he came out with today would be big hits. Like You Owe Me
Yeah.
had a second life on TikTok last year, and people hated that record when it came out. People hated that fucking song because again, it looks like a one of those sellout pop crossover type records. Whereas Nas and fucking Genuine on the record, like who wouldn't want that? Like you, but that also goes back to the era where it's just like the hoes wasn't appreciated enough.
That he got, I guess, kind of like a two part. One's a thought and the second one's a question. Is because you brought up Nostradamus and I Am. Nas, for whatever reason, and I feel like as it's aged, like this has helped him a lot. But he did kind of get boxed into this, like, nah, you gotta be like the rapper's rapper.
The
Because the
boom
way
bap.
like people were introduced to him, it was like, nah, you can't deviate off of that. And I feel like
Hmm.
that was it wasn't even anything he necessarily did. It was just like, oh, because you super nice, I need you to always rap like this. I need all your records to sound like this, et cetera, et cetera. Where one of the like career conversations around Nas too is like beat selection. My dog's going
Hmm.
fucking crazy. Um, where do you feel like that really became a like actual problem? If you feel like it became an actual problem, or do you think he just got joked on? I'm not trying to say unfairly, like he got bullied, like the nigga was a multi-millionaire and had a very successful career, but like, when do you think that actually started to become applicable to Nas? Like, oh yeah, you rap dope as fuck, but like your beats his ass.
Your production is not the best. I don't know, man. I can't really call it. Like, I think that.
Albums, and I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it became a thing like later in his career as we were getting older. And I also think when you hear him with Ross on Ross production, you're like, damn, listening to you on these in comparison to yours, it's like yours ain't that great. And I don't think that's fair to him because Rick Ross has some of the best beats ever in like rap ever. So I don't think that's fair to Nas's production. I think he's always gotten outside of that terrible Kanye album, he's always gotten production that matches him or where he's at in his life. Like, I think him and Hit Boy getting together when they did was perfect for where Nas was at in that time of his life. So when you listen to all of his production, it always matches where he is at that time of his career. And I don't think that Nas never had, like, up until this Hit Boy run, he never really had, like, primary producers for albums and albums and albums. Like, he had Premier for like a stretch here, he had LES for like a stretch here, he had like track masters here and there, but it's just like he never had like the majority project until Hit Boy. I think that plays a part in it. Like Jay had Just Blaze on like majority projects. He had Pharrell, Pharrell. He had Pharrell on like a lot of projects and things like that consistently in a way Nas didn't with producers. So it just it's just how it lined up.
For a big single too.
Like, yeah, you feel me? So, like, but I say all that to say, the beats always made sense for Nas.
I agree. Like, that also might be like, I don't know if that's worse, or I'll let people decide if that's worse or better than my Mariah Carey take. I defended the Kanye album for like 2 weeks when it came out.
What was your Mariah Carey take?
Bad take, I mean. That her and Beyonce, who was more hip hop. I declared that like my worst thing I've said on a mic. The defending the Kanye Nas album, I think just because in my brain I'm like, I just wanted that to work. But I'm even like going back through his albums. I'm like, okay, when would you say? And I'm not gonna say like I Am an Nostradamus or like top tier Nas albums, but I don't really think. I'm looking here right now. If I'm not the Kanye album is by far like the worst thing in his catalog.
For sure.
There's not like a awful Nas project. And I'm even like, if I'm going to like, see, in this end of his year, like, and I don't even, I'll be fair, like, I'm not talking something like Light Years, because that was just something that like they wanted to put out for a while. The initial response, like, oh, it sounds dated, and it's like, yeah, because these niggas just have a bunch of records together, and they were like, just put them out, and I'm like, I'm not even judging that off the way I would if he said, yo, I got a brand new album like coming out this year, and I'm like, that was some shit two friends had, they wanted to put out, cool. The King's Disease and Magic series are both fire. Man, if Hit Boy was born 30 years earlier, they could we'd have a drastically different career. Like, those two together, that shit just works. Oh man. The shout out to It Was Written 30 years later, still sounds great. What's our next great 30-year album? We've obviously like on this level, like we just talked Reasonable Doubt, we talked It Was Written. What's like the next All Eyes on Me
that we'd all have listened to?
Yeah.
It depends. How much are you in on AT Aliens?
I have. You can't take away Outkast space and history and who they are. I'm not the biggest Outkast listener.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Yeah, I don't. That's one of those like I respect the hell out of y'all. Like I understand it, but that's just not shit that like I personally am going back to all the time, being like, yo, let me go run that again. That's just not my Atlanta. Like personally, like the most I enjoy listening to Atlanta is like Jeezy, Ludacris, T.I., the shit like when I was a teenager. I mean, middle school dances, Yin Yang Twins, who I don't know how they got into middle school dances, but you know, teach their own. That or Akon. That was always wild to me too. Like
AT Aliens or Aquemini are probably my favorite Outkast albums. And it depends on the day. Aquemini it depends on the day with those.
Nah, that's valid. That's valid. Excuse me. Will's handling some stuff, so he's probably not going to join us here. But, excuse me. Got 10 minutes left. I had an idea for a fun challenge that I wanted to try. Man, they could send me memes. So LeBron is about to be 42 years old. We're waiting on what's going to happen, which I feel like we're finally at a point, and it happened really quick and like suddenly. It will obviously be a big deal wherever LeBron signs this offseason. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely not taking up the same amount of space that it would have even 2 or 3 years ago. Like, it's not a block for every single sports show. And I know some of that is the World Cup because it only happens every couple of years, and so the timing. But, like, it feels like we have finally moved past the LeBron is a block anything he does. Not saying it won't be a big deal, but not a block. So, but with respect to LeBron.
You definitely think.
Well, Skip also just got fired again for like the third time in 4 years.
Very funny.
So,
they fired all of them niggas. Like, that's so funny to me.
Like, everybody getting rid of Skip. And all that dudes, man, the whole Gilbert Arenas thing is funny. But that made me think for this week's just fun little short game, if we run into 3v3. So it's me, you, and Will. And it's at what age? We run into 3v3 to 21. And it's at what age? At what age do you think we beat 3 LeBron James? Because LeBron could be. We've said it. LeBron could probably be
3 LeBron James.
3 LeBron James.
You could have said
LeBron
1.
Might be hooping it.
You honestly could have said 1. There's no age. All right, 3 of us right now at our current ages and bodies.
3 of us right now. It's at what age do you think we finally get one on them, right? So game to 21.
Like so 70.
We starting. 25-year-old LeBron James.
No.
And for fun, it's like what you think that score would look like.
Okay, 21-0.
Because that's first year in Miami, right? 25 or 26?
No, he's only like, when he gets to Miami, he's only like 24.
Because it's 7 years with the Cavs that first run, and he came in at
03 to 2010, yeah.
So
he was a baby
pretty
still.
Much Miami Bron. Yeah. So 21-0 against 25-year-old LeBron. I bet.
Yeah,
we're gonna get a little bit older. We're gonna run up 3 of us versus 30-year-old LeBrons.
21-0. Like I don't. 21-0.
And that is technically first year back in Cleveland if he's 30, because he would have been, second year back in Cleveland, because if he was 24, 25,
give
Miami,
or take
4 years.
Give or take, yeah.
All right, let's run with beginning of Lakers LeBron, 35-year-old LeBron. 3 of us versus
21-0.
I'm not disagreeing yet. 40-year-old LeBron James.
21-0. We don't.
21-1 on a 40-year-old LeBron.
We are not getting a point on LeBron. 40-year-old LeBron James. No,
right, now we got to do some projections.
Okay.
45-year-old LeBron James. So now we may be.
This is by ones or twos.
Ones and twos. Threes count for twos.
Okay. 21-4.
24. All right, we making progress. All right. 50-year-old LeBron James.
21-4.
We ain't making no progress from 45.
No.
All All right, 55-year-old LeBron James. Now we a full decade plus removed from the league, niggas. He might got grandkids at this point. He might, body start catching up with his legs.
21, 12.
21 to 12. All right. And this is still us currently. We not
Yes.
aging. LeBron's the only one aging. All right.
Because that's the only way.
LeBron, that's a fact. 60-year-old LeBron James.
21, 60-year-old bro. 21, 16.
21, 60. All right, we making progress. See, as long as we beat him before the nigga turns 90. 65-year-old LeBron James.
21, 17. we can add a
Mike right
bucket
now?
in those 5 years. Mike right now I think is 64. Just throwing a number out there.
Let's see. Mike is 63 right now.
Okay.
And they were saying just a few years ago when he was the owner, he was still walking into practice giving buckets.
Skip
So,
Bayless told us Michael Jordan is going to stop smoking cigars, get in shape, and come back at 50. And I don't know if he was crazy for saying that shit. Out of everything Skip's ever said, I don't know if he was crazy for saying that.
Nah, that's a fact. So that was 60. That was 60-year-old. So 65. No, was that 60 or 65? We just did
We did 65.
65. All right, 3 of us versus 3 70-year-old LeBrons.
This is
I
where
think-
we win. This is
I
where
was
we
like,
win.
I think we can take him a 70.
This here is where we win. 21 to 18. It's the closest game. It's the closest because he's back. He got the old man strength at this point, so it's all just post game. I'm 5'8". I'm a chair. I'm a goddamn chair.
You just got to foul him at that point.
Exactly.
No refs, just empty gym, just foul the shot.
I'm winning. We winning on wind. We are winning on on cardio.
I bet. See, so that's not. I don't think that's that bad. And if people being honest, take your own challenge. What age you think you finally go beat LeBron? He's the ageless wonder. He's played forever. Do you think he makes it 25 years in the league? Like, you think he's got a 2-year deal left in him?
It's been an argument. It's been not an argument, but it's been like talked about a lot that could happen. It's just like I just think this year's his last year. Like he's already soft launched that like, hey, I don't want to get washed. So it's like I can't jump as high, I can't run as fast. Like it takes him some time to do shit that he used to do at the snap of a finger. It's just like he's already letting us know like, hey, I'm getting worse. I can still do this in the right situation at a high level, but I am not what I used to be. And I do think this year's his last year. I don't know where that is. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I have any guesses or predictions, but I just don't see him going past this year. I just don't.
I'm kind of on board. I definitely don't think he wants to look washed, and I don't know if he would. Like I still think he can get you 20. I think it still gets you 5-6 rebounds, 5-6 assists, but it's not nearly as the way you could tell LeBron is clearly not the same player. He's got to try to do that. Whereas even like 2 or 3 years ago, he could just get out of bed and still give you like 22, 23 points a game, get you 6-7 rebounds, 6-7 assists. Like he actively now has to like try to be a good NBA player, which just shows like the longevity is it's just never going to be matched. Like I just don't know when we're going to see it. And it's even like if you look at like the trajectory of his career, Giannis was probably the first guy to take best player in the league from him. And if people remember that game, Giannis was doing like the crown shit, and Giannis like I want it, like I want to be the best player in the league, and it's like
2020 is always forgotten because LeBron was going to win MVP. They had just beat the Clippers, they had just beat the Bucks, and then I think the weekend after that happened, the league shut down, and that was his last MVP. He was going to win MVP. That was his last one.
Yeah. But, like, Giannis in that game was probably the first time in LeBron's whole life, like, he looked at somebody and says, damn, this nigga just faster and stronger than me. Because that was Giannis' game. It was like, I'm going to just get by you. And, like, LeBron had probably not been beaten athletically in his basketball life until that point, which is insane for someone that started playing basketball. You drafted in 03, so someone playing competitive ass basketball since 2000. Like, it's just insane. Hey man, like we said, it is gonna be a shorter episode today. I got referee training that I gotta go to, so they gonna pay. Man, look, they paying niggas to ref high school games. I said I was waiting till the last. I was waiting because I wanted the live reaction. They said it's ref and flex, and it's
Joey Crawford, like, Justin. Justin Brothers.
It's flag football, and if I do good enough, I could do it for high school.
Oh, you Ed Hockley.
Hey, yo. I would tell you, look, I ain't ever seen nigga go back and talk to the struggle with Ed Hockley. Ed Hockley made sure he made sure everyone watching that game knew he was at the gym right before.
Ed Hockley did push-ups on the field before every game.
Oh, that's a fact. He was running niggas down. Like, the receiver would run, like, for the touchdown. Everybody else, like, just stopped. It was like, all right, cool, he scored. Ed was at that bitch running sprints.
You got referee training?
Like, I got referee training. I'll be an official ref starting August 1st, 2nd, somewhere around there.
You gonna have a whistle?
So I'm gonna have a whistle. I'm bringing the suit before like my first game. I'm dead ass. I'll pull up live, do the show in the whole fucking outfit. Like I'm ready.
You look like a fucking Foot Locker salesman.
Hey man, look. Hey, shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all as always. Don't forget, find us YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Yeah, man. I gotta go to training. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.